Hello, this is Mojo from ThreeChordGuitar.com, and today we're going to shift our focus of attention onto a string called the Dsus4. The Dsus4 is it's basically a chord I've been using forever. I just didn't know the name for it, so I went and looked it up to pretend that I knew what I was talking about today. But seriously though, it's a chord that pops up in a lot of different types of music, all the way from country to rock to Zakk Wylde, of all people. So anyway, we'll see how it's a pretty useful little chord to know, and how it's really not much more than what we already know. So to start, what we're going to do is place our fingers in a regular D chord manner here, and it should sound something like this. To make a Dsus4, all I gotta do is add a little pinky here, which is basically freeloading and doing absolutely nothing for us in this case, and slap it on the 3rd fret of the high E string, and it sounds like this. And here's what it looks like. Okay? Now the cool stuff about this is what we can do is we can alternate between a regular D and a Dsus4, and it gives us this little flavor here. Okay? So all we're really doing here is Dsus4, pinky on, regular D, lift off the pinky. Okay? So we're not reinventing the wheel here or doing anything crazy like splitting the atom in Harvard Square, although that could be fun. So why would we use this? Well, there's, as I said, a lot of different songs that use it. Probably the first one that I personally came across was a classic by Tom Petty. You know, she's a good girl, she loves her mama in America too, and Elvis as well, I think. That's the song, okay? Free Falling. Alright, another song that it comes up in is this country music hit with Faith Hill and her husband Tim McGraw, it goes something like this. Regular D, Dsus4, A, back to D. By the way, a lot of times when you see somebody play the D in a Dsus4, so Dsus4, pinky on, D, no pinky, there are a lot of times we'll also, in the next chord, or one of the chords coming up, lift the finger here that I can't really show in public. And as I said, even Zakk Wylde uses it on his Pride and Glory album, the first one, which to me was basically the only album worth listening to that has Zakk Wylde on it. And I know, many of you will disagree, and that's fine. But to me, he's still an idiot who seems to enjoy beer way too much, and weightlifting, and can't help himself but endorse just about everything that walks. Rant over. Alright, the song was something like this. If I could, I surely would. Charlie, raise your pain. If I could no longer, would you still know my name? Leave me way beyond beyond empty inside, waiting my last day to ride on your living light. Alright, you get the drift. So this is a very useful chord that you'll find in a lot of different varied applications and genres of music, and I figured might as well show it to you since it's so darn simple in the first place. One last thing is when I use finger picking with it, I like to usually use pretty much the same pattern every time, frankly, and this is how it goes. My thumb is going to be hitting the D string, which is an open string. Then my middle finger, Johnny Cash finger on my picking hand over here, will be talking to the B string. My index finger will be taking care of the G string, and my ring finger will be taking care of the high E string. Although sometimes I will substitute, as you just saw, my middle finger also for the E string. Now another trick that I like to use is when I'm going to be doing this, I'm also, every time I hit the high E string, I will also play at the same time the open D with my thumb. It gives it a little bit of meat to it, and also this ringing drone that's almost Celtic sounding. Alright, that's it. That was a Dsus4. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to come ask in the forum. It's never a bother. We'll love to answer them. And take good care. Be well.